What's up, guys? Everybody talks about discipline today, and nobody talks about why discipline is important. What's more important is self control, because let's talk about it from a worldly perspective. The language that most of you and even me to some extent still speak. And when you don't have self control and you're scrolling on your phone, anyone and anything that you idolize, that you think is above you, you're going to be skewed in one way, shape, or form by their content, by their lifestyle, by what they idolize, you are now going to idolize. That is, in a smaller sense, a lack of self control. Why is that? Because you don't know yourself enough, you don't have a foundation to be able to overcome that information, the skewedness that comes from this. You become tossed and turned in the waves, just like a reed in the wind. So it's so important to be a man of self control. If you are a young individual watching this video, it is so important for you above all else to learn self control. Whether that is you have friends and they're asking you to go out and drink and you don't agree with that lifestyle, and you say no and you stick to that no because you have self-control. You know yourself enough to not want to go out and do those things because you live a certain way, you believe a certain way, you act a certain way. And this is tough today because everybody wants to follow the crowd, everybody wants to become like everybody else. Everyone wants to be a sheep today. They see one person making a ton of money and posting videos and doing whatever, and they want to become like that because they're sheep. That is not self control. What self control is finding who you are, what you are good at, and then going and doing that and not letting anyone else skew you along the way. Now, it's different to have mentors or people that really have your best interest in mind and they give you advice. That's different. You can take that and allow yourself to be transformed as long as that person is credible, they're smart, they know what they're talking about, but most of all, they actually have your best interest in their mind. They want to see you succeed. They're not just trying to push you out of the way so that they can get the upper hand. We're going to see in this life, there are a lot of people that just want to talk with you, to network with certain people because they want to get the upper hand. They only want to talk to you because they want something from you, or they only want to be in this situation because they're thinking of only what can they get out of that situation. Don't live that way. That's terrible. But back to what we were talking about, self-control. Let's bring it into a biblical term rather than worldly. A man without self control is like a city with broken walls, and that is Proverbs 25, verse 28. And this should tell you everything that you need to know as a man, individual, or just person. If you have a city, your body and your mind is a city, and you don't have any walls, that means anybody can run up in there and absolutely burn everything to the ground whenever they feel like it. That is what a life of no self control, no discipline looks like. But a life of discipline, it's the exact opposite of what Psalm 25, verse 28 says. And that is, you have a city that is fortified, strong with walls. And why? You are protecting everything that is in your vessel. Everything that is in your city, everything that you stand for is protected and thriving because you have built yourself a solid foundation, a solid layer of protection. That is what discipline is. Everybody, all these fitness people and whatever they want to call themselves today, they talk about discipline. Oh, I get up at 5 in the morning, I work out, I go run, I do this, I eat healthy. That's patterns. What I'm talking about, what real discipline and real self-control is not patterns. It is you sticking to the code of what you are supposed to be, who you are supposed to be. What do you believe in? If that's faith, if it's not faith, if it's God, you have a strong foundation and you know that anything outside of what the Bible says and what God says of you is wrong, is nonsense. And you don't stray away from that because you have a fortified city that protects all of the life that is within you. Same if you don't believe in God. It's the same situation. If you are not content and understand who you are in the inside and you build walls up to protect that, obviously have common sense, don't have crazy internal beliefs that are not good for the people around you and not healthy. But I tell you this, faith or not, because it is actually so important to have a foundation. What are your roots? Where are your roots? What is important to you? What makes you you? That is what you build a fortified city around. That is what you build your walls and protect. Because if you leave your walls and your guard down, we've all heard that saying, oh, you have your guard down. That means you are free to be attacked. That means you are free to be skewed and pushed by the wind whatever way the world wants you to. And the world, I will be honest with you, the world does not want you to succeed. Not because of certain people, it's just wired that way. But that's why you have to surround yourself with the right people. That's why you have to, in order to attract the right people, you have to build up your walls and have your foundation in the right place and protect it every single day. This is not a one day thing, it's an every single day thing that you work towards. There's the repetition that these fitness people talk about. It is protecting who you are and where your roots are, what you believe every single day through your actions. The things you do, the people you spend your time with, the things you eat, how you take care of yourself. That is true discipline that nobody talks about. Hope this helps you. Catch you guys in the next one.